Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Hannibal reaction video. Alright, so today we're getting into Season 3, Episode 7. And you guys know, if you watched my last reaction, that I was a little blown away by the ending there, and what happened was a bit overwhelming and shocking, to say the least. And I was very anxious to get going with the next episode because of how they left it. So I don't want to take too long at the beginning here, but I do have to mention just one thing quickly, and you will have seen this if you've been on my YouTube and you've gone to the community section where I can post comments. There's been some difficulties with YouTube lately for a lot of reactors, including myself. Currently, what's happening is every time I upload a reaction video, it is immediately, instantaneously blocked for a copyright claim. This includes shows that I have never had any copyright claim issues with before at all, ever, none. And shows like Hannibal, where I have had copyright issues in the past, but usually the episodes aren't, with a couple exceptions, aren't totally blocked. And the ones that are claimed, usually they'll do a copyright claim, so they'll claim the revenue from ads, and they'll keep that for themselves, but they won't actually block people from seeing it. And often those claims will happen even days after I post. With this, every single video, regardless of anything else, is blocked instantaneously. And this has been happening to other reactors as well, so I think there's a change in YouTube algorithm for how it's searching for copyrighted material. So currently what I have to do is I have to upload every video that I'm posting. If it gets blocked, which they all are, then I have to put in a dispute to try to dispute the claim and then hope that the copyright holder will release the block. And so far that has been successful. I've been getting the videos released. They're releasing them in such a way that I don't get any of the ad revenue at all anymore, so I'm getting like nothing from that. So if you do want to contribute by joining my Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube, that would be super helpful right now, because right now I'm not getting anything at all. But at least the videos are being able to be up. The problem is that it also is on their timeline, and sometimes it's taking days, a week even, for them to actually release the video, and they can always change their mind and block it again. So things are a little bit up in the air at the moment, in particular in terms of how long it's going to take between episodes, because even though I may be uploading it, say, 5 days earlier than you see it, it might be blocked until then. So unfortunately, that's just how it's going to be on YouTube until this is figured out, and hopefully YouTube will do away with whatever change they've made. But for now, unfortunately, it is what it is. But yes, as I mentioned, my Patreon, all the videos are always up there, and you get early access to videos, and there also are full-length videos as an option. So, but anyway, like I said, let's put that unpleasantness aside now, because I need to see what the hell is gonna happen now that Hannibal and Will are both in Mason's claws, and we don't know what the hell happened to Jack. He somehow got left behind there. So let's get into Episode 7, Season 3 of Hannibal. Here we go.
Once more in the wind, but he left one last victim.
Oh god.
Open him the way Lecter opened the other one. Open him all the way. Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Sicko, you'd think that even if you were gonna try and kill him, okay. Thank you, Chio. Took you long enough to do something.
At swine fairs, I've seen exotic pigs from all over the world. You are the best of all that I've seen. We are going to have some good, funny times, Dr. Layton.
Hannibal just looks like he's having fun, man.
Sad news about Jack Crawford. Here's Hannibal Lecter. I snatched Will Graham right out of your mouth. You must be famished.
He seriously looks like he's having fun.
There is an inescapable parallel between you and Jezebel, Mason. Keen Bible student that you are, you'll recall dogs ate Jezebel's face, along with the rest of her.
Jezebel was right with the risen Jesus. The Riz would have provided her with a new face, as he has provided mine. The transplant surgery is extremely skillful, which is why Cordell here will be performing the face-off.
He wants Will's face!
Hello.
The face-off! The
You boys
face-off!
remind me of that German cannibal who advertised for a friend and then ate him and his penis before he died. Tragedy being, the penis was overcooked. And got all that trouble to eat a friend and you overcook his penis. Oh, I ate it anyway. They had to. They committed. But they didn't enjoy it.
Hannibal's having
committed to
such a
enjoying
fucking
every
good
bite.
time, and that's insane.
You're going to eat him with my face.
Yes. I got a taste for it after you two had me eat my nose.
Of course, will be your hands and feet, sizzling on a Promethean barbecue. The coal is white and very hard. It makes a clear ringing sound when struck. You've thought of everything.
And after that, we'll have a little pajama party, you and I. You can be in shorties by then. Huh? Cordell is gonna keep you alive for a very long time.
Oh! Will!
Wow. No pajama party for you, Mr. Graham. We're gonna feed you to the pigs as soon as Cordell has removed your face. In a much more civilized fashion than you just tried to remove his.
Well, Hannibal really liked that one. Jesus! Ooh. Ooh.
You know you'll have to kill him.
Saying you'd do it for me? Could never trust you.
No, of course not. But you could trust me never to deny that I did it. It would actually be more therapeutic for you to kill him yourself. Remember, I recommended that in session.
Yeah, like, right away.
Wait until I could get away with it, you said.
Well, here's your chance.
What difference would one more murder choose?
I was trying to save Will from you. But right now, you're the only one who can save him. Promise me you'll save him. Please.
I promise. And I always keep my promises, Alana. Just cut the ropes on one arm. Give me the knife and leave. I can do the rest.
Could I have ever understood you?
No.
Cordell! Cordell!
And there's Cordell.
I found your surrogate, Mason.
Your surrogate, Margo. I promised you I'd give you a virgin baby.
I'm taking what you promised me.
Where are they?
I'm not gonna miss you.
All right, Will.
I'm not gonna find you. I'm not going to look for you. I don't want to know where you are or what you do. I don't want to think about you anymore.
All right, Will.
You delight in wickedness and then berate yourself for the delight.
You delight. I tolerate.
Yes, he sees the difference.
I don't have your appetite. Goodbye, Hannibal.
Will. I'm so proud. I'm so proud right now, you guys. I mean, but
Jack.
I'm here.
what?
Finally caught the Chesapeake River, Jack.
I didn't catch you. You surrendered.
I want you to know exactly where I am. And where you can always find me.
Holy shit! Are you serious?
Cuff him. Put him in my car.
Are you serious? That was episode 7. So obviously there is a lot to talk about in this episode. This episode was absolutely wild from start to finish, and I feel like the ending is the biggest stuff that needs to be discussed, those last few minutes, those last couple scenes. So I'll save that. I'll talk about some other things first. So, first of all, Chio. Alright, so I still was just not getting it. I was not getting it. She was saying that she had wanted to see him caged. She even told Bedelia that just in the last episode. And yet, everything that she was doing was not facilitating that happening. And she was straight up going to let Hannibal kill Will. And I'm curious. You know, she saved Jack at the end. She saved Jack from the police, although they were not acting as police officers. But I'm curious if she would have saved him. I don't think she would have. I don't think she would have saved him. You know, if Hannibal hadn't been taken away ahead of time. And maybe she only kind of saved him for the purpose of she wanted more information about where they were taking Hannibal. Yeah, because, I mean, she totally let Hannibal slaughter all those people. at the farm. So I guess, you know, she wasn't that concerned about it. So I was very confused. But then we got the scene between them near the end, which was nice. And it seems to be that she changed her mind, and I don't know if that just happened when she saw Hannibal. She changed her mind about wanting to cage him. She came to the conclusion that wasn't the best option, and so instead she was choosing to maybe kind of cage herself again, because she had made the analogy of herself and Bedelia as birds that he kept caged, and she had been caged in the position of watching over her prisoner previously. But Hannibal had asked, will you watch over me? And that's basically what she was doing, was just following him around and protecting him, but not like interacting with him in any way, shape, or form, and not stopping him from doing what he was doing. So I'm curious if that was like her plan from that point forward, because she even said, yes, I'll watch over you. So that is fascinating. I mean, she walks away at the end there, and now he's in prison, so I guess that's not really going to be necessary, or maybe what'll happen. But so I guess that gives me a little bit more context about what exactly it was she decided that she wanted. Then we have Alana and Margo. Margo just been traumatized by Mason her entire life, and now he's done this, the most fucked up thing that he's done to her yet, it seems, maybe. Making a pig into a surrogate for her child from the eggs that he stole from her when he was in the process of killing her other unborn child. And this one she actually got to hold the dead body of, so now he's taken two chances for parenthood away from her. So she's done. She's done. She's like, you know what? Hannibal said I should kill you. Let's just make that happen. She decides she's gonna go and kill him, and that's good. That's good. And they ended up having Alana be a part of it. So it's now gotten to the point, you know, we gradually watched the kind of compromising of Will over the course of the past 2 seasons before we even got to this one. And this, I guess, we're sort of watching the compromising of Alana this season, with first step by step with everything she was participating in with Mason. And then, of course, now she's directly participated in not just killing Mason, but in the deaths of all the other people at the farm, who Hannibal killed because she released him. And of course the death of Potsy, and yeah, she was directly involved in that too. So going down this path. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation that she had with Hannibal when she decides to let him go to save Will. It doesn't surprise me that she would do that to let him save Will, but I think also in some way, maybe in a disturbed way, she also said she could stomach the idea of him being tortured but maybe not killed, so she didn't even really want him to be killed. And then when she's talking to him, she's like, could I ever understand you? And it kind of leads me to wonder, like, is there part of her that is still like, man, you know, he made these connections with Will and other people, and he wanted them to be his like killer partners and know the truth, but he didn't want me. And I don't know, maybe I'm wondering if there's a part of her that is kind of sorry about that. I don't know if it's the case, but she's definitely taken a different line of thinking lately, and it just seemed very interesting that she would ask that question. I'm still mad at Hannibal for the fact that he's promised to kill her, and she's now made the choice to basically free him, to risk her own life in the future to save Will, which is very Alana-esque, even the new Alana. But I'm still pissed at him for doing that, because, you know, his statement to her was basically, just walk away and allow me to kill Jack and, you know, kill whoever else shows up and flee the scene and do whatever I want, or I promise next time I will kill you too. And it's like, you know what? You've done enough shit to her. You've been manipulating her for years. You actively used her to cause pain to Will and to protect yourself in the last few months before you were revealed to be who you were. Like, through sleeping with her and making her feel like you loved her, and then you're gonna turn around and just in the blink of an eye be like, you know what, I know I did all that fucked up stuff to you, but if you don't just do this one thing for me, then I'm gonna promise that I will kill you no matter what happens. And so, I don't know, I just find that just makes me mad at him. That just makes me so mad at him. I mean, but anyway, So now, so Alana then, though she did make that decision, but now she and Margot have Mason's sperm, so they'll be able to have a baby, and presumably Margot then will just have control of everything, and they would live happily ever after if it wasn't for the looming threat of Hannibal in the background. Of course, now Hannibal has turned himself in. And so then we get to the kind of crux of the episode, right? The big stuff, the biggest stuff at the end. So Will, you know, it was interesting to watch all of Will's dynamics throughout the course of the episode. You know, at first, all throughout his time at Mason's, he was just super out of it, and part of that you could attribute to the fact that he was severely injured and was having his skull drilled into by Hannibal before he was even, you know, presumably not gently transported and drugged and tied up in all sorts of whatnot. But part of it just seemed like he was just kind of, you know, slumping down into accepting his fate. He had that one moment when he went and bit off part of Cordell's face, which, you know, Hannibal seemed to enjoy very much, and Mason seemed to not give a shit about. But for the most part, he was just kind of like, all right, well, I guess this is what's gonna happen to me now. And you know, you just Will, just so torn apart and traumatized and brutalized and mentally completely unwound and turned back into some semblance of himself that is utterly enmeshed with Hannibal. And it seems like at that point he was just like, all right, well, I guess this is it, this is the end, and he was just letting it go. But then after Hannibal saves him, Hannibal, who was having quite the good time, it seemed, even though he was a prisoner and was being tortured and told how he was going to be eaten, he seemed entertained. But when they are free and they're having the conversation, Will just straightforward says to him the things that I have been hoping for him to say, that I was so proud of him to say. You know what? I'm not going to miss you. I'm not going to think about you. I am not going to chase you. You know, he's not going to try and stop him from leaving right there. He's not going to try and get him turned in. He's not going after that anymore, but he's going to try to disconnect completely. You know, he was thinking that he would have to kill him, but no. He said the real thing for me to be able to live and move on is to erase you from my life, from my thoughts, from my feelings. And that's what's going to happen. So goodbye. And Hannibal, you could tell sitting there that fucked him up more than anything else that Will could have said. And Will, you know, Hannibal is basically like acting in disbelief. I just can't believe. I can believe, but at the same time, I did not see it coming that he was going to turn himself in order to screw that up for Will. I mean, it's perfect. It makes so much perfect sense that he realized that Will had come to the one conclusion he could come to, that the only... Oh, hang on a second. We got a blank screen. All right. He came to the one conclusion that he could come to that would take away the power that Hannibal had over him. Especially when he says to Will, you know, oh, so you delight in all of this viciousness, this disgust, you know, all the killing and the violence and all that, you delight in it, and then you're trying to push me away. And he's like, no, I don't delight in it. And that was, I tolerate. And that was it. That was really, out of everything, the moment that I had been waiting for Will to recognize the difference between them. Is that even though he gets all caught up in this, even though he's able to kind of enmesh with Hannibal and absorb that thing, that ultimately, deep down, no matter how much Hannibal wanted him to be with him, like him, just like him, he doesn't have the drive, like the instinctive need to kill and harm people and destroy. He doesn't want that intrinsically. What he wanted... What he got addicted to was the feeling of connection with Hannibal. And he was willing, he got so far into that he was willing to tolerate and even participate in violence against and the killings of others, or at least he got to the point where he was thinking, I might be willing to, in order to maintain that connection. But now he's saying, and he had also convinced himself that he also maybe was like Hannibal. But now he's recognizing the truth of what actually happened to him, the actual difference between them, and he's calling it out, and he's saying, no, I'm going to sever the link, and without you, I can go back to trying to be a normal person, and I won't miss you. I won't think about you. And so that, more than anything, I think is what would have cut Hannibal, and I was so proud. But that Hannibal, of course, just the master manipulator, again, I should have seen something like this coming, but I did not. But then he turns himself in specifically, so he's saying that, so you'll always know where I am, Will. So he'll always be like he'll never fully be away from him in his mind. He'll always know where Hannibal is, and that Hannibal is a possibility that he could go back to and interact with him and talk with him. And more so, he'll know, like, Jack will know where he is, and if Jack, like, needs Will to use Hannibal, well, guess what's probably gonna happen? So, it was just such a brilliant move, but it was just such a perfect encapsulation of the fucked upness of their relationship and the way that Hannibal has had control over Will and what he's done. And I just, like, I was blown away by it. It was honestly perfect. It was perfect. I was so sad and disappointed because I was so happy for Will. I was so proud of him. But at the same time, I couldn't be disappointed because it was so fitting and perfect for what had to happen. So, but that's it. Now Hannibal is caught. So now we are finally arrived at the point where Hannibal is presumably going to be locked up in the asylum, as we've seen him in pretty much every iteration of Hannibal in books and films in the past. And I'm super curious to see what that's going to be like. But yeah, all right. I think I've blathered on enough here, guys. But just an amazing episode. Fantastic. Crazy all the way through. And I... interested to see you guys' thoughts as well. So I'm gonna wrap this up and say thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.